What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconerizone for another match reaction, the second one of the 23, 1-0 win against Udinese. The 8th win in a row, 8 clean sheets in a row, and that's a positive news. That's actually the only positive news I can see, and maybe not the only, but like that's the biggest positive news. But before we get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and hit that bell notification. So 1-0, we won. Before I get into the game, the first thing I want to ask, and let me know in the comments, is this the first time that we won 8 games in a row with 8 clean sheets and we are still pissed, or like a large part of the fans are pissed or annoyed, whatever you want to call it, because this is brutal. We are winning, but this was brutal. Of course, happy that we won because we need the points. Like that's what it is. Just we need the 3 points, and we picked up the 3 points to keep a little hope on a title run, whatever you want to call it. I will talk about that, but we will talk about that the entire week. I will say this, but if you play like this next Friday away to Napoli, it's going to be probably the longest night of the season, and we had a horrible night away to Lisbon against Benfica, because today it was just bad, from minute 1 to minute 89. It was just horrible for so many different reasons. I have no idea why we set up like this, and forget about the players just a little bit, but the way we set up, the intentions we show at home against an Udinese side who picked up 2 points out of a possible 24. Relegation form, it's even worse than relegation form. I think Cremonese have a better form in the last 8 games. And that's how we played. Udinese are a poor team. They're a bad side. And we gave them the ball and they still looked very poor. That's all you need to know. I'm not going to praise us being solid, because yes, we didn't concede, but that Udinese side was never going to score. They're that bad. They're just that bad. So that's why I'm very confused as of why we set up in this extreme way. I'm going to say it's extreme. Because at times, in the second half especially, Sandro was losing the ball at the back. Like, we were playing it sideways and players had no idea where to go with the ball because everything was very stale. It was very predictable. It was super slow. And it was very easy for Udinese to defend. Like, there were no runners. There was not a player beating his man consistently or going at him. It was very easy for Udinese to basically do the same thing what we did, just soak up a little bit of the pressure, be kind of solid, but, knowing that nobody's going to score here. That's the feeling you were getting from that game. Besides, the only time a player looked up without possession, without the ball, the player being Chiesa, and decided to make a run and, maybe I will get to the end of something, because that was missing. Like, it was very predictable. I remember one chance from Rabiot. That was a good one, but that was because Udinese, I don't know what they were doing. They were trying to press, but the wrong players stepped up and there was a big hole, and, Rabiot was basically through on goal. He was unlucky. But other than that, there were no runners without the ball. Chiesa decided to do that. Paredes picked him up. Brilliant from Paredes. Even more brilliant from Chiesa, because that was a very difficult control, and he controls it very difficult, and without basically looking, without time, he plays it straight to Danilo. That's a fantastic goal from Paredes and Chiesa, and credit to Danilo for believing in that, basically. But that was the only time we had anything that you can say, okay, that was good, because that was a pattern. Player runs without the ball, picks it out, and lays it back, and it's a goal. Even if it wasn't a goal, that was the only time I was like, okay, that's something great. Other than that, it was trying to cross, playing in and around the box, long balls, and it was very stationary. It was bad, and actually, it was unacceptable because this Udinese side is poor. Again, I'm happy with the points. I'll take that any time to the bank. But you probably feel, and it might sound ridiculous because it's a game, but you feel like at some point, because it happened last season, it will come down crashing. It will come crashing down one more time because it's just the way we play. Like, it feels it's completely unsustainable. It feels like against a little better side, if you don't step it up, which we did against Inter and Lazio, it was at home, but then we stepped it up. If you don't step it up a notch or two, you're probably going to lose games very, very soon again because Udinese are poor, but if you play like this away to Napoli, you're going to lose 100%. Like, there's no way you're going to come out with a positive result, I believe, if you play like this against Napoli. I don't see it. Now, let's go into the players a little bit because that backline terrified me. They did pretty well because, again, Udinese were poor. They were just poor. They have nothing. So, nothing against them besides some weird sequences of play where they lost possession. But then again, there was no movement in front of them. I saw Sandro picking up the ball and basically bring it to whoever was out there instead of just playing it in because the distance at times was also so big. So weird, but whatever. So I have nothing against that. I thought Kostic was not good. He was very poor. I thought Miretti was very poor. I thought McKennie had a few good moments, but overall it's like technical. It was not good. It's just, but that's who he is. Locatelli. I think we need to start a conversation about him because I like Locatelli. I don't like him as much as many other fans. I don't really like. It's great. He was a fan of the club. I get all that, but like that goes out of the window. So I just want to win, and he's playing very poorly now. I do believe he's not suited for that position. I just don't see it. And it's not all on him because in the first half especially, he picked up the ball a few times. He looked up and players were just running. They were just running straight forward and nobody was like, okay, I'm dropping in to pick up the ball or maybe create a hole wherein Locatelli can play a ball or, run into. So it's not all on him, but on the ball, he's been very underwhelming. I think ever since he joined, it has been underwhelming. I know a lot of people gave him more credit than he probably should be getting first season, all those things, blah, blah, blah. But overall, I don't think he's having a good time, a good spell at Juve. Not all his fault, but like basic things are going wrong at this moment in time for him. Like simple passes, easy decisions. He looks frustrated at times, like stupid fouls. Like you remind me of Pjanic a little bit today, where he also picked up fouls where like you actually didn't need to do that, but maybe frustration. He wasn't good. He wasn't good, and it's a worry. It's actually a worry, and it's a conversation we need to start having. Also, I'm still confused why we signed Paredes. Is he not fit? I don't get it, but I think he suits that position, and even I'm not the biggest Paredes fan at this moment in time. I think he suits that better than Locatelli. I think it will look better, and it will also look better for Locatelli if he can step up a few yards, whatever you want to call it. So that's that. I thought Chiesa came on. He had nothing besides that final thing. That's all he need. But he like the pace was so slow of the game. It was very difficult for him to get into that game. He skinned this opposition 2-3 times maybe, but the moment he got that ball, it was just he got overwhelmed at times, playing very close to that touchline. Not on transition. We were doing it. It was very difficult for him to get in the game. I thought Keane had a poor game. Milik had no impact. I thought Di Maria did well. Now the reports are that he has a calf problem, which is absolutely ridiculous because, again, this is just ridiculous. Players injury prone or not, because he wasn't before he joined. I have no idea how this medical staff is operating still, because players are coming back and they're going back out like immediately. I don't know how this is acceptable. Like, I have no idea. But apparently it's a calf injury. That's all, the commentator said, at the sideline. But if it is true, it's absolutely ridiculous because this medical staff is a joke. Because no way in other clubs you're seeing players coming in and, dropping out one more time, like completely in the same in the same game. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. But I thought he played well enough to have a few assists. But then again, the finishing or like the final decision was just poor, especially in that first half. But yeah, overall, it's 8 games, 8 wins, 8 clean sheets. We made up ground big time, and you have basically all to play for, your season to play for, I believe, next Friday, where somehow, I have no idea how, how we won a lot of those 8 games. You need to somehow go to Napoli and win that game to make it a title race again. If not, the gap is back to, depending on what they're going to do against Sampdoria, probably going to win because Sampdoria are bad. The gap goes back to 10 points and it's done. And the season is, finish top 4 and, try to reach Coppa Italia final, whatever. But that's for the coming week to discuss. Let me know in the comments what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you back tomorrow. Ciao.